want to follow up on one of Mr. Wilson's questions on the Irish border, to get your view on what would happen in the event of no deal. If the UK did not put up a border, would the European Union require Ireland to put up a border?
Yeah, in the case of a no deal, then automatically there will be a border.
But the UK has made it clear it won't put up a border. But the UK has made it clear it won't put up a border. We'll have no physical infrastructure.
They have said in the beginning a small border.
But the EU...
There's a border, a small border.
Well, there's a border already, but the EU would, under those circumstances, put up a physical border. Is that correct?
But we want, in any way, to avoid it.
Yeah.
Our basic principle is we don't want it. That's also the reason why we want an agreement.
Yes.
And you prepare yourself always for the worst scenario, but that is not our thinking for the moment. No. And we want to avoid it in any circumstances. And
but are you
saying... but what are you going to do when this is happening and this is happening? That is not the way we are working, because that should be a very bad starting point for the negotiations.
But that's exactly what's being done by the attempt to draw backstops. It's saying what will happen in the
backstop.
The backstop. The whole point of a backstop is what happens in the event that things don't happen.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to establish is that in the event of no agreement, which is not impossible, and the UK does not put up a physical border, will the EU insist that Ireland puts up a physical border?
Well, automatically then there is a border. The question is that we prefer the backstop option in that case. Okay. Maybe you can, to avoid a border from your side, then accept the backstop option. That could be also...
No, we can avoid a border unilaterally. We can simply say we're not going to put up a physical border.
Yeah, okay, but you
and
could
then
also...
and then would the EU insist that the Republic of Ireland did?
No.
Because if you wouldn't, then the whole issue's gone away, because if you're not insisting on a hard border, we're not going to insist on a hard border. Who is the magical person insisting on a hard border?
Yeah, but there will be still not regulatory alignment, for example, between the north and south. So we will have to deal with that problem.
Yes, but
that's the reason why it is absolutely to avoid that we have no deal. That's to for you unilaterally and for us not only unilaterally, to avoid that we need to do something what we don't want to do.
But you would have a choice not to impose a physical border in the event.
No, we have no choice. The border is the.
Okay, so you would have no choice. So why?
The rules are the rules. We cannot change the rules. So, but we want to avoid that. We have to apply that, and that is the reason why you have, Mrs. May, and in this NWO has be in agreement with the backstop. So for us, if there is no, the backstop assures that we have no hard border to install, because the backstop avoids a hard border and makes that there is regulatory alignment and customs arrangements as they exist today between Northern Ireland and the Irish Republic.
Thank you. What you said is extremely important. You said that the EU would insist on a hard border with no agreement because the rules are the rules. But the EU, when it suited it, has not always stuck to that position, has it?
Sorry?
Well, I seem to remember that the Maastricht Treaty has a no bailout clause for countries that get into trouble in the euro. But when it suited the European Union, the rules weren't the rules, were they? The rules were adjusted to meet the requirements of the time.
No, I should
why are you so solid about the rules being
I
rules
should not
now?
say that that we all the time change the rules. That's not true. The Stability Pact and Growth Pact rules are fully applied, but inside these rules there of the Stability and Growth Pact, there is a power, competence for the European Commission to say when they are launched. We have done it. We have launched procedures against member states even big member states based on the Growth and Stability Pact for excessive deficit procedure. It's not true that we don't apply the rules.
So the rules were fully applied, were they? So just remind me, what was Italy's debt to GDP ratio when it joined the euro with these fully applied rules? Did it meet the Maastricht
Too
criteria?
high, but they have been put also under procedures that were
But it
foreseen.
didn't meet the rules, did it?
No, sorry.
No. So the rules were flexed. So the rules are the rules when the EU wants them to be the rules, and therefore it's saying these will be the rules because we want to impose a hard border. But the rules could be flexed in this area because, as you said in one of your earlier answers,
the flexibility,
you represent a lawmaking body.
the flexibility that has been used inside towards deficits and public debts towards countries of the Eurozone were possibilities that were foreseen in the rules of the Stability and Growth Pact. The Commission didn't go outside the rules of the Stability and Growth Pact. They have used the flexibility foreseen in the rules of the Stability and Growth Pact.
These were the rules to join in the first place, which were much clearer. The Stability and Growth Pact does have an ability not to fine countries. And as you will, of course, remember, when Germany broke the deficit level, its fine was remitted. So there is a flexibility in rules.
In the Stability and Growth Pact, there is a flexibility. And this flexibility has been extended now in the latest changes of the Stability and Growth Pact.
There was no flexibility in the no bailout clause. That was absolutely clear in the Maastricht Treaty.
Yeah, but
then it was done through something that was meant to be there for natural disasters.
Yeah, well, what is now your point, that we are too flexible in the Growth and Stability Pact in a currency union where you are not part of it?
No, my point is that you say to us that the rules are the rules and they must be applied, but I'm telling you that there is considerable evidence that the EU does not apply the rules when it's not in its interest to.
If you think that a country is not following the rules, or that the European Union is not following the rules, there is always the court. And you can go to court and say European Union doesn't apply its own rules, and the European Union can be condemned to do so. That's a rule-based system. And that is exactly what we have in the Union. And the difficulty of this negotiation is a little bit the lack of recognition from one side that it is a rule-based system, that we cannot invent a relationship or partnership that go against these rules.
It's a rules-based system when it suits the European Union and amazingly flexible when it doesn't.
That's not true.
It's perfectly true.
I have a lot of criticism towards the European Union, but you cannot say, oh yeah, there's a system that adapts itself when it suits one or other big member state, I presume.
So did the Maastricht Treaty allow for bailouts?
The Maastricht Treaty said a lot of things, and this Maastricht Treaty, I can tell you, I lived it as a Prime Minister of Belgium, has obliged us to do, for example, the 60% I'm talking now about debt, to do enormous efforts. So it's rule-based.
It said no bailouts, and that was overridden. The point is very simple. The EU makes rules, and it can make rules to suit circumstances if it chooses to. But by a voluntary decision, it is choosing to say that its rules are sacrosanct, when in other areas it's been much more flexible. And that this ought to be a part of a sensible negotiation, rather than the EU simply saying, we will stick to rules which we haven't done in the past.
Now, we stick to a rule-based system, and we will not undo this rule-based system with an ECJ who has the oversight of all this. During this negotiation, we will
in this negotiation. But it's been done
in this negotiation, like in other negotiations, like in any negotiation that the European Union has with another country.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.